So for today's practice, I've got a blanket. You can fold it up kind of however you want, but nice sort of square rectangle size. And then how thick it is will be totally up to you. I'll explain that in a second. The other thing that you will want is a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can take blankets and fold them up on top of each other and make a sort of pile of blankets. The other option is you can take cushions from your sofa, and those, if you pile one or two on top of each other, might also be a trick that can be handy. So this is what you're going to come and do. And you are going to come and sit with your legs bent. And this is where the blanket can come in handy, because you can place the blanket sort of between the two thighs, right? So I have my bolster. This is like an L shape, right, between the bolster and the top of my thigh. And then I have the blanket kind of helping stabilize the second knee. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one hand, the right hand on the right side of the bolster, the left hand on the left side of the bolster. And I'm going to try and get my belly. So maybe I can bring this in a little closer. I can try and lie my whole belly onto the pillow. So for the purposes of the recording, I'm going to turn my head towards you. But if you want to have your forehead on the cushion or turn your head in the other direction, you can do that too. So I'm just going to get into the pose. Okay, I will show you that again. So I start sitting next to the bolster. I'm going to turn both legs behind me. One leg creates the L shape with the bolster. The bolster is the long side of the L. The leg is the short side of the L. And then I can place the blanket between my thighs. I place right hand on the right side of the bolster, left hand on the left side of the bolster, and I'm going to lie down so that the surface of my belly and my chest is supported by the bolster. And again, you can turn your head whichever side or direction is comfortable. And you want your arms. I find that if I keep my arms too close in, at some point it feels like the shoulder is restricted from really relaxing. So I like my elbows a bit further away from the bolster, but find whatever is comfortable for you, and you can always adjust as you go. Okay, so now that I've shown you where we will be, I'm going to guide the practice sitting up. So if you want to hit pause, come and find your position. Make sure that your computer or your phone is somewhere where you can reach it and press play again. And once you've hit play and you are in this position, you might even have noticed as you got into the position if there were parts of the body that were feeling restricted or tight, or where there was a lack of fluidity or ease of movement to get into the position. And again, you're just, as it were, taking notes of just the things that you notice. There will be moments where the mind gets very active and wants to judge what it is seeing and feeling and observing. So be aware that that instinct of the mind will be there. To the degree possible, can you let that go? And by let that go, I mean keep retraining your attention to the feelings themselves. So you can kind of see how from the beginning of the week with the neck massage and the twist sitting down, and the lying down twist from yesterday. They're all things that sort of touch the course that our vagus nerve makes within our body. They all move kind of around this center line of the spine. And today in particular, with the pillow underneath our body, there's the possibility to kind of really allow the muscles to receive the support that the bolster or blankets or pillows that you are using are offering you. And therefore the possibility for the muscles to work less. Our muscles are constantly working to balance our bones in space, to keep our body erect in space, to keep us upright in the shapes that we put our body into. The shape that we've put our body into right now is a shape where, with the help of the floor and the blanket and the pillow, the body and the muscles don't really have any work to do. So can you slowly acknowledge the support that you're getting from the earth, all the places where the body is touching the floor, the blanket, the pillow. And maybe there are certain parts of the body that have already received that support, and so the muscles have let go. As you continue observing the points at which the body contacts the blanket, the floor, the pillow, maybe there are muscles around that point of contact where tension or work, the muscles are still working. And can you ask those muscles, can you ask the tension itself, do I still need you right now? And if the body says yes, then keep the work, keep the tension that the muscles are creating. If the body says, no, I don't need this right now, then can that acknowledgement be permission for those muscles to slowly let go? And you can do this like a layered experiment. You can do it once in each place. You can do it twice in each place. Maybe as the body acknowledges what tension it needs and what tension it does not need, other things come to the surface, other awarenesses come to the surface. You can bring your awareness to your breath again. And as the awareness comes towards the breath, can you spend a few moments observing how the belly moves as you inhale and as you exhale? You're not directing the breath. You are not lengthening the breath. You are just observing the belly, the abdomen. As you breathe in, how does the belly move? As you breathe out, again, you are noticing how does the belly move. And then shift the attention now to the chest, the front part of the body that is contacting the bolster. And here again, as you inhale, How are you noticing the chest moving? What parts of the chest are moving? How is the chest moving as you exhale? And maybe you can become aware, even though it's not touching anything, maybe you can notice how what you are wearing is touching the back of the rib cage. And how is this part of the rib cage moving as you inhale and as you exhale? And last little observation is the jaw. One of the places where it seems that we carry a lot of tension, almost without us noticing it, is in the jaw. So can you add a soft sigh as you maybe allow the lips to separate? See if the tongue can move away from the roof of the mouth, not because you are pulling it away, but because any work or tension or effort that is keeping it pressed to the top of your mouth can now let go. So it's not something you are undoing, it is not something you are doing, it is something that you are undoing. I will come to stop the recording. You can stay here as long as you want. If for whatever reason you want to do this on the second side, you can. There is no need or obligation or reason why it is better to do both sides. But again, one of the reasons why we do these practices is to train the body to know and recognize this deeper state of parasympathetic relaxation. We spend a lot of time in our day-to-day running, excited, stressed, chasing something. And so our body is very well trained to be in that state of alertness. We spend very little time teaching our body how to be in a state of aware and calm. And this pose and some of the other practices that we've done this week are aimed at training our ability to be awake and calm, so that our nervous system can begin to recognize how relaxation feels and therefore know what it is moving towards. Enjoy the rest of the time that you are willing and able to dedicate to this practice.